This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, after narrowly escaping demolition in the 1970s, a rare old Dunedin public toilet may soon get National Heritage protection. The fence around one of the South Coast's most recognised landmarks is being worked on by a Dunedin contractor. And nearly 2-year-old fox terrier Tussock is one of a handful of conservation dogs who are protecting the Orokonui Eco Sanctuary. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. After narrowly escaping demolition in the 1970s, a rare old Dunedin public convenience could gain National Heritage protection. The Dunedin City Council has recently acted to protect the old toilet at the intersection of Manor Place and Princess Street, so it may soon be a heritage-listed loo.
A small slice of Dunedin's civic history is a step closer to being officially recognised as a historic site. Built in 1912, and closed in the 1970s, the Manor Place public toilets are thought to be the oldest such facilities in New Zealand still standing. Now archivist Alison Breeze hopes to have these historic privies officially recognised.
So I just started last week. I've just applied for the Heritage New Zealand to get it on the list, and I've been doing the toilet research in Dunedin for many years as part of my role at Dunedin City Council.
Breeze says because the building was boarded up and largely forgotten for more than 40 years, the toilet still retains much of its original historic interior.
It's got all the original tiles, nothing's ever been updated. So largely by being ignored for many years, it's actually survived, and it's the only trace or link that we have to the original undergrounds that were built, because they've all been demolished, nothing was saved out of them.
A fountain of knowledge when it comes to the history of Dunedin's public toilets, last year Breeze completed a master's on the demise of the subterranean public conveniences during the 20th century and the changing social attitude towards them. While it was unlikely the building would ever open to the public again, Breeze hopes there will be something for those interested in the history of the city's toilets.
It was marked for demolition in 1976, so it was going to go, but it survived, and so it would be great if we could show what's in there, because the tiles are really beautiful and things like that. Part of my thesis was had the video showing the internal and showing what it was originally like.
Considered modern and up-to-date with overseas trends, 4 toilets were built in the 1910s, replacing what a city councillor at the time called particularly unpleasant existing facilities.
So this one behind me is the last remaining standing one in the city, and it's pretty much, I think, the oldest one in New Zealand that still stands as a separate structure, and it's certainly the only one in the octagonal shape, which we assume is mirroring the octagon, but we've found no proof of that.
Breeze says the historical places process could take at least a year, but she's confident of getting the official tick. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A funding boost has kick-started plans to revitalise Oamaru's town centre. The local council has received $100,000 from the New Zealand Transport Agency to make the streets more people-friendly. The money comes from a larger $14 million fund being rolled out to towns across New Zealand. The money will fund non-permanent features such as planters, furniture and artificial grass to create a pedestrianised space from excess road space. The area of focus will be the Thames and Itchen Street area of the historic precinct. The changes, which will include closing some parts of the road to traffic, are set to be done by Christmas. The fence around one of the South Coast's most recognised landmarks is being worked on by a Dunedin contractor. However, the remote location gives those working on the project a wide range of challenges.
Some work sites are easier to get to than others, and many easier than this one. 9 months planning resulted in an hour-long clifftop mission to fix the fences at the famous and remote Nugget Point Lighthouse. Contractor Kim Rapley says safety is paramount.
We have to leave a safety fence up, so there's a risk of fall of about 100 metres. So it's only a 40-metre job, but very challenging.
Helicopters Otago pilot Andy Baird swings a 350-kilogram load of timber onto a small deck beside the Nugget Point Lighthouse. Rapley says due to the extreme nature of the Maritime NZ worksite, the devil is in the detail.
It's a 600-metre walk along the track to get to the lighthouse, We've got to fly the gear in by helicopter.
He says when working at the 9-metre lighthouse, nearly 80 metres above the treacherous Southern Ocean, you've got to have a head for heights. The team had their work cut out for them, as they had to remake the 40-metre fence from the ground up.
We've got to core drill through 200 mils of solid concrete and then jackhammer down through the basalt rock to remove the rock in order that we can concrete the posts in.
Kim Rapley says the team needed a good head for heights as they installed the 40-metre fence with just a metre's grace between them and the cliff. At Nugget Point, the South Today.
Otago Museum Director Ian Griffin says they're facing severe financial challenges and aren't covered by some government lockdown-related support, which is going towards Te Papa and smaller museums. The government has announced an $18 million rescue package for Te Papa, plus a further $2 million for small museums. However, the hardship funds don't apply to the country's 3 metropolitan museums, Otago, Canterbury and the Auckland War Memorial Museum. Griffin says the museum is working to retain staff, but there are long-term concerns unless funding is increased. The museum had been able to retain its full staffing through the initial wage subsidy. Conservation dogs have cleared the Orokonui eco-sanctuary of weasels and ferrets. Nearly 2-year-old fox terrier Tussock is among the 4-legged ferret finders who surveyed Orokonui, using their training and their noses to help protect native wildlife.
They might be small, but these dogs fill a vital conservation role. Using terriers to sniff out predators at the Orokonui Eco Sanctuary is a question of nature and training.
We use terriers as our predator dogs, largely because they've been bred for hundreds of years to track and find small mammals, so they're largely doing that of their own. They're interested in it anyway, so it makes it easy for us to train them to do it.
Tussock, the almost 2-year-old fox terrier, and owner Alex Gamagami have been helping protect native wildlife at the Eco Sanctuary. Gamagami says Tussock's keen nose and determination are perfect weapons for sniffing out predators.
We work with mustelids, which are stoats, ferrets and weasels. So he'll find scent or scat or caches from any of those animals. So caches they kill the animals and sort of hide them away for later.
Gamagami started out working in the conservation field while at university and says as she really likes dogs, she leapt at the chance to own and train a conservation dog. She says while the dogs are in training, it's vital to make sure Tussock and his contemporaries are only interested in predators and won't hunt native species.
The other really important bit about training is making sure that the dog isn't interested in non-targets. So that's your other furry animals, which can be quite distracting, and also obviously our taonga species, our ground birds. We often work around kiwi and takahe in sanctuaries and offshore islands, so we need to make sure the dog is really safe around them.
Alex Gamagami says all of the predator control dogs wear muzzles while working to protect ground-based wildlife like kiwi and takahe, which they're helping to save. And while they're on the job, the 4-legged ferret finders are easily identified by their uniform jackets. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, a large excavator gets to work pulling down the former Caltex service station in North Dunedin, and we take a look around a newly renovated former Fairfield hotel.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Welcome back. A man is facing a string of charges, including assault with a weapon, after he was arrested in Invercargill this morning. A witness reported seeing police cordons in place near the intersection of Dipton and Bain Streets. A police spokeswoman says a search was carried out at a Kingsland address. A 31-year-old male was arrested without incident on several charges, including assault with a weapon, driving while disqualified, and dangerous driving. A large excavator got to work yesterday pulling down the former Caltex service station in North Dunedin. Once removed, the building is set to be replaced with a smaller Caltex store.
The North Dunedin Caltex service station on Great King Street felt the bite of a large excavator yesterday. The building, which housed a Caltex service station and car repair workshop, is being demolished to make way for a smaller convenience store plus 2 extra gas pumps, bringing the total number of pumps up to 8. The canopy over the forecourt is also to be more than doubled in size. The 2 vehicle entry and exit points onto Great King Street will remain, and the site is set to be closed until early August. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A Dunedin couple have spent the last 18 years renovating a former hotel in Fairfield. With the long job now coming to an end, the South Today were invited to take a look around.
The former Coach and Horses Hotel in the Dunedin suburb of Fairfield is undergoing restoration, thanks to the couple who own it. Penny Turner says the 116-year-old property has undergone a fair amount of structural repairs since she and her husband bought it 18 years ago.
Since buying the property, we've done quite a lot of the restoration work, stabilising some of the interior walls and straightening up the building itself.
She's enamoured of the building's history and has collected a fair amount of historic photographs showing it through the ages. The name Coach and Horses comes from another nearby pub dating back to the 1860s gold boom. In 1904 the hotel was destroyed by fire and the current premises were built, operating as a pub until the 1950s when the building finally became a family home. The Turners have been doing quite a bit of work to make the house a pleasant one to live in.
We've also installed heating with a coal burner, and tried to modernise the home but still keeping the history of the building and the heritage along with it.
The renovations have been partially funded by the Dunedin City Council Heritage Fund, and there are plans for an open day to raise funds for charity once the renovations are complete. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, Dunedin and Queenstown are raised as potential quarantine locations in the South, and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Come on, mate. The blue doesn't go with the brown.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today. Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Bowel cancer is the second highest cause of cancer death in New Zealand.
And New Zealand's got a higher rate of bowel cancer than many other Western countries.
Because it's one of those areas of the body that we don't talk about often enough.
It is one of those silent killers almost, that if it strikes and if you develop symptoms, sometimes it's too late.
So it's a major issue.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health is not ruling out using Dunedin or Queenstown as sites for COVID-19 quarantine facilities. Currently, the resorts, hotels and motels are mostly empty due to the COVID-19 crisis. With a large number of Kiwis expected to return home from overseas in the next few weeks, quarantine facilities may be under pressure. The possibility of Dunedin or Queenstown being used to house new arrivals in isolation has now been raised. However, Queenstown Lakes Mayor Jim Bolt says stringent safeguards will be required before he accepted that his region would not be placed at risk from COVID-19 again. There are already over 4,000 people in isolation. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. After narrowly escaping demolition in the 1970s, a rare old Dunedin public toilet may soon gain national heritage protection. A fence around one of the South Coast's most recognised landmarks is being worked on by a Dunedin contractor. And nearly 2-year-old fox terrier Tussock is one of a handful of conservation dogs who are protecting the Orokonui Eco Sanctuary. And time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry.
Hello, Sophie.
Good evening.
The fallout from COVID-19 continues. Significant Otago business is proposing to lay off 110 people. So some sad news there for the particular business, and you can find out more details of that in the paper tomorrow. More gloomy news, Otago households are by far the most pessimistic in the country about the economy, according to the latest Westpac household survey. So that's was completed 10 days ago, so the information's pretty current. So they paint a fairly gloomy picture of our attitudes towards the year ahead. So,
Right.
However, now some good news. Waiting?
I'm ready.
Okay. Up to $10 million injection from the government will enable AJ Hackett to keep 20 of the 90 jobs it proposed to let go, and will also sustain that business. So some good news down there in the tourism industry, which is clearly struggling.
Yes.
Another exciting development, a scheduled air service between Wanaka and Christchurch is being proposed, and it could be up and running within 6 weeks if there is enough support. So somebody's flying that flag. So we'll see what happens there. Otago Regional Council meeting today was between protesters and fire alarms and general controversy. They, at the end of it all, decided to impose a rates increase. So details of that in the paper. Queenstown Group wanting Queenstown Airport to be moved somewhere else, presents the Queenstown Lakes District Council with a plan of how Frankton could look like without an airport. So some visionary stuff there, so interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Barry. There'll be all of that and more in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the city view, the lights are on again at Cadbury's as demolition crews inspect the building. Looking at the situation, skies remaining clear inland with frosts, but low cloud remaining on the Otago coast with chilly northeasterly winds. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at mostly blue skies and 16 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a cloudy day and 13 degrees. Moving to Canterbury, it will be cloudy with showers. Kaikoura heads for 11 degrees, Christchurch 9 and Ashburton is set to reach 8. To the southern towns, plan for light northeasterlies and some clouds. The Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are all aiming for 9 degrees. Heading to Central, you can expect light winds and cloudy skies. It will be particularly cold in Wanaka and Alexandra, where the high is set to be 4 degrees, 3 degrees in Queenstown, and once again Te Anau is the warmest, aiming for a high of 10. To the northern towns, on the coast, Timaru and Oamaru can expect moderate northeasterlies and cloudy skies with 9-degree highs. Inland, those in Twizel and Omarama can plan for light winds, clear skies, 5 degrees in Twizel and 4 for Omarama. In Dunedin, drizzly patches this evening, then cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 6. Low cloud tomorrow morning, breaking in the afternoon with some sunny periods developing, a high of 8 and a low of 5. Fresh, breezy, cold northeasterlies on Friday with heavy low clouds, a high of 10 and a low of 7. And in Invercargill, frosty tonight with an overnight low of -1. Sunny periods tomorrow with scattered high cloud and light winds. The high is due to be 11 and the low -1. Similar on Friday with light winds, a high of 11 and a low of -1. That's all for our news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.